Hey guys, Me here, and recently, over the course of the last week, we've been getting random just bombs from random magazines of the new Pokemon called Magiana. And that's how I'm going to pronounce it this video. I don't know if that's correct. I know many people are mispronouncing it with another word, but I'm not going to say that. Anyway, here are my 10 possible explanations for what Magiana is. Because there's a lot of confusion. We don't really have concrete evidence to what exactly Magiana is exactly. So here are my 10 explanations for what I think Magiana could be for the game, the movie, all that jazz. So let's get on to number 1. So the first thing I think, and I think most other people think when they saw Magiana, is the Diancie resemblance. There's two different Diancie theories in this 10 possibilities video, so I'm going to start with the first one, and that is it's another form just like Mew and Mewtwo, where it's a completely different Pokemon, but it's like a different form-esque, where they're very related, but they're not the same. I feel like Diancie will be the more light and good one, whereas Magiana could be the more evil one. I think that's a possibility because if you look at its very, very demonic eyes, it looks like a Robo Diancie, and I think it's either going to be an evil Diancie or a Robo Diancie. It definitely does look like some type of robot, and I think in the description that we got, it did say it was man-made, which is going to be another one of my explanations. But the main idea here is the idea that Magiana is another form of Diancie, and it might be a robo form of it in a way. Number 2 is what I just said, and that's it's another man-made Pokemon. We have two other man-made Pokemon, and that is Mewtwo and Genesect. So this would be the third, and I don't think there's anything really special with that. I mean, it could be because, as you guys know, Pokemon and Game Freak are obsessed with threes. We have tons and tons of trios, so this would make it a trio of man-made Pokemon. So I guess that could mean there's maybe potential similarities with Genesect, Mewtwo, and Magiana. I don't know what really would come out of this, but it will relate to another possibility and explanation I have. But that is maybe someone created Magiana for good or for bad, which I'm kind of leaning towards the bad side because Diancie alone looks pretty good to me, like a nice spirit, whereas Magiana doesn't look as sweet as a Diancie. So my idea is it's another man-made Pokemon similar to Mewtwo and similar to Genesect, and like Mewtwo was to Mew, which Magiana would be to Diancie. So number 4, I think we're on number 4. No, we're on number 3. See, I can't count. We have Diantha's secret ace Pokemon. Now, as you can tell by Kalos, or Kalos, however you want to say it, and Diantha's theme for her gym team, not a gym team, her Elite Four team, we see a huge similarity, where Kalos is very pretty and elegant, and her team is pretty elegant with things like the Aurorus and Gardevoir. I think Magiana would perfectly fit into Diantha's team and her theme in her team. So going back to Pokemon Z, which is nearly confirmed at this point, we could go back and fight Diantha, and Magiana would be her new main course. Not her main course, that makes it seem like she's food, but her main ace. So I think that's a possibility because I think Diantha and Magiana deeply have like a connection in terms of appearance and just overall theme. Number 4, we have a lookout for Kalos. Now, as you guys know, Diancie and the trio were very lackluster in Pokemon X and Y. The only way you could get them is like going to McDonald's. It was it was organized poorly. So, in Pokemon Z, I think the trio will really grow and come out of its shell. and it will be more powerful and impactful in your journey. Now, whether or not Diancie and Magiana are connected, I think Magiana could help the trio, or on itself, help you or the Diantha in supporting and protecting the region Kalos. As you can remember from the game, spoiler alert, Flare really does attack and go for Kalos, and it wants to destroy it. So I think Diancie and Magiana, or just Magiana, could help you in your journey to stop them. And if Pokemon Z is like Black and White 2, like I predict, where it's more of a sequel and Flare would come back, I think Magiana will either join your team or join Diantha's or some of your 18 different allies and help take down Team Flare with you and be a lookout for Kalos. Number 5, we have Diancie and Magiana actually being an evolution of Diancie. Now, Diancie already has a Mega Evolution, so that kind of drained the idea of it being a Mega Evolution, but it could be an evolution. Now, we obviously see after Mega Evolution, no other evolution occurring, and we always see it on the 3rd stage, but we've never thought about it as maybe an in-between stage. So I think possibly it could be an evolution of Diancie, and then maybe it could take a first in the Pokemon series, and Diancie will have a Mega Evolution, and then also Magiana will have a Mega Evolution as Diancie's normal evolution. I think that'd be really, really strange, but also something I could see them doing. So yeah, maybe Magiana is Diancie's regular evolution. Again, no mean to be punny, but this next one is very far-fetched, but it's very entertaining. Number 6, what if Magiana is the power cell for, or power generator for Zygarde? As you know, Pokemon Z is going to be very, very focused on Zygarde, so that's why I don't think Magiana on its own will be like the star Pokemon in Pokemon Z. It's going to be kind of like a supporter. Now, if that support is to take down Zygarde or help Zygarde, who knows? But on this prediction, I think Magiana could be a potential power source for Zygarde to transform. Now, we know it does get energy from cells, but how are those cells going to get together and join together out of nowhere? Maybe the Robo-Diancie looking thing, Magiana, will help take all the cells together and form Zygarde and empower it. That's just a hypothesis, but I think it's an interesting one. Number 7, what is that big crystal thing in Anastar City? I'll have a picture up there right now. And could it relate to Magiana? And that's this idea. What if Magiana is that crystal's, like, what if it's encompassed in that crystal? Now, for all I know, I have no idea what that big pink crystal thing is. And it has to relate to something. And obviously it related to nothing in X and Y story. So what if Magiana and maybe something Diancie related? Because I think it's pretty obvious there's some correlation between the two. What if it lives there, or it gets its power from that big giant pink crystal? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Next, at number, I think we're on 8, right? Yeah, number 8, we have Arceus. Now, obviously it's not random. I'm not going to randomly just say Arceus from nothing after it. But what if Magiana is related to Arceus, and it's a little form of it, or it's its quote-unquote kid? Now, that, again, seems very far-fetched, but what I see when I look at Magiana is I see Arceus similarities, where they kind of both look like silver, robotic, gem, crystal-y, just killers, and they both look pretty mechanical, and Magiana looks pretty godlike to me. So what if Diancie and Magiana have something to do with Arceus, and Magiana is some sort of like kid form of Arceus? I don't know, it's just another one of my guesses, but it could happen. Next, we have, it's man-made from Team Flare. Now, I don't know about you, but Team Flare doesn't look that scary to me. They're all based on fashion and just looks, And I think Magiana would be a very stylish bomb. Yes, bomb. What if Team Flare uses Magiana as either a power source or a bomb to destroy Kalos or someone else? Now, I know that sounds weird, but if you look at the shape of Magiana, it does look like the shape of a bomb. Now, what if it just explodes out of nowhere? It does have the shape of Voltorb and have the aesthetic of Voltorb and the other self-exploding Pokemon. So I wouldn't put it against it, put it past it for having a self-explosion move or some type of way to blow up, to destroy things. So number 9, man-made by Team Flare, self-exploding destruction. The final one, it's the last Master Ball you need to use to capture Zygarde. If you look at the shape of it, it does have more of a Pokeball shape than a bomb shape. Both sound weird, but its dress is in the shape of a Pokeball. Now, is that gonna mean it is a Pokeball, or it has something to do with Pokeball? I don't know, but it's there. So anyways, those are some of my wacky predictions, but also some really possible predictions for what Magiana could be and what it ended up will be. Pokemon Z will hopefully come this year. I really sense it. Hopefully we'll get more information on it with the upcoming Koros, and hopefully a Nintendo Direct coming soon. We might know more about Pokemon Z and what Magiana really is, because all we really know is what it looks like, and that it's probably man-made. Besides that, if you like Pokemon and you like these wacky predictions, but also pretty accurate top 10s, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be here for more Pokemon Z and Magiana news. Thanks, goodbye. Oh, and before I go and leave you alone, Clink Lang DNA splicers with Diancie equals Magiana. The end.